5, 4. You got it open?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let's see what we look like today. I don't know. It's March 31st, 2023 at 10:30. And we are here with the Real Estate Investors News Network. Hey, everybody. My name is Bud Evans. I'm the host of the Aim High podcast, and I am here with my co-host from the West Coast, Kimmy Crombie.
It's me. I'm here. I'm in the house, and I've got my Friday cup.
And Kimmy's husband is the Babe, and he is in Micronesia with Derek Zoolander, apparently.
Oh my gosh! No, he's in Taipei right now. He was in Malaysia for work, and he's going to be back tonight. It's not going to be soon enough. I'm telling you, when you have your person all the time and you work from home primarily, it's weird when it's just you in the house with the dogs and the kid and all the transportation and all the things, you know. So I'm very much looking forward to having him back for about 12 hours before we get in the car and drive 5 hours for my daughter's state gymnastics meet.
Okay. Well, you know, being separated, I may have a little bit of experience with this, you know, having been away from home for 7.5 years out of 34 in my military career. So, I will say absence makes the heart grow fonder. And it just always seemed to happen that I was being deployed when my wife was getting tired of me somehow. So it was probably the best thing that ever happened to her. Not always the best thing that ever happened to me, but, you know, anything to make her life a little bit more pleasant, I guess. So, and now she goes to work every day and I sit here because I'm unemployed. Retired. That's what it is. Retired. I am retired.
That's the correct term. Retired.
Yeah.
I feel like in retirement, I'm probably going to be one of those people that has more to do than I ever had before I quit my job, just because that's who I am. And I am one of those people too, that if I have a million things to do and it's overwhelming and it feels like there's an elephant on your chest, that's actually when I'm the most productive. So I wouldn't say multitasking is my friend, but I would say when I have more things, I get more things done.
Yeah, I might kind of resemble that remark. We right. I have my team is now shrunk from 10 to 4. So I have 4 people that I work with on a consistent basis. We have 8 companies, you know, not including Stephanie, you know, obviously in that 4, because she's my better half. So and she has her hair salon. And then I run the other 7 companies. And of course I get in trouble when our books aren't balanced. Why didn't you pay my credit card bill? I forgot I was supposed to do that. Oops. Might have had a few things going on. Yeah, we got a couple of flips that have just been sold. We're closing on one today. Should be closing on the other one next week. We've got 2 right behind that. You know, another rental property. We renovating 6 units. Got another 5 unit that we're converting from a commercial space to a residential space, so that I got nothing going on. And oh, by the way, we still have the property management company that I'm working on right now. We've got 3 under management. We're getting ready to transfer the rest of our Jersey properties into it. Nothing to see here. Move along.
No big deal.
Yeah. And not to mention the new, the new coaching program that we're standing up here with the master's class and, you know, rentals specific. So
I love it. I'm here for it.
Yeah. I'm not busy at all being retired. I have nothing to do in my spare time.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I know. I don't know how I could not be busy. I love to be busy.
Yeah. Right. I'm a big George McCallum fan who wrote a book called Essentialism. And it's very specifically in a summed up sort of way. It's essentially looking at each action that you're going to take throughout the day and asking, what is the purpose of this action? And does it get me closer to my goal? And if not, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Right. Going into my closet, I have a drawer of t-shirts I have one drawer of concert t-shirts. Because I like.
By the way, I love the one that you're sporting today. The Foo Fighters are boss.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I have, Foo Fighters and Stapleton I was wearing yesterday and Zach Brown the day before that. If I'm in the gym, I have my second drawer, which is grunt style t-shirts because, military
Yes.
/ cop. That's kind of where I go, right? America. So yeah, that's
Right.
makes it very easy for me to make a decision. I'm going to the gym. Let me grab one of these t-shirts. Oh, I'm just hanging around the house. Let me grab one of these t-shirts. Unless it's a Saturday afternoon and I've got my Penn State t-shirt.
And as a retired person, you can now spend more time selectively buying those t-shirts at whatever concerts you want to attend, right?
Yeah, right. Hey,
Theoretically, unless you have a closing on the same day.
oh no, then the uniform changes. So I wear t-shirts and joggers, right? And then so I go to the gym every morning, you know that, and I have the sneakers on, and I come out of the gym and I'm wearing slides because why not, right? So I wear t-shirts, joggers, and slides. I have a closing today, so I'm wearing my formal wear. I have sneakers on again, so I'm wearing a different
You have
pair of
sneakers and formal wear. Oh my gosh! Right, see, and exactly. we have differing gym concepts too, because most of my workouts I do them here at home, and I love it. But it is not the same as going to a gym at all. And also, I'm the person that if people are looking at me or I think they're looking at me, I just immediately start to shut down. And so I get a better workout in here at home, generally.
Oh, good. Hey, look, this is.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, your cup. See, this week you've got the huge coffee cup. Last week it was me. This one's my mini one, but I can refill it a lot.
Yeah, I have 3 very large coffee cups. I have a Yeti that's a 24 ouncer, and then I have these. I have 3 nieces. 2 of them went to Hershey separately. One of them got me the blue and white because Air Force, and then the other one got me the traditional brown Hershey's mug. So, and by the way, they were all filled with Hershey Kisses.
Hershey's Kisses. I love it. What a cool little gift. Especially, I mean, first of all, who can say no to chocolate? I mean, unless you're allergic or something, but who can say no to coffee too? I don't know. If somebody says I don't drink coffee or I don't like coffee, I immediately go, but why?
Right.
Coffee is life juice. We call it life juice. So speaking of life juice, it sounds like California is working on juicing their tax market a little bit here. What is going on?
Oh my goodness. Are we talking about the real estate mansion tax?
That tax. Yes.
That's absolutely stupid. Yeah, we got so California, not to be outdone by anybody. They've got this new mansion tax, which they're going to increase. Now, tell me if you've heard this one. Real estate is already very expensive in California. So, when we say in South Jersey, if I buy $1 million home, out in California, it's a $5 million or more.
Oh, yeah.
Home.
Easily.
A 3,000 square foot house in South Jersey might be 500, 600 grand, but out there it's millions. Well, anything over $5 million is going to be hit with another 0.5 point in taxes. So 0.5%. It's a grading scale, right? So it goes from 0.5% up to 3.75% if your house is $25 million or more. Now, if you
first of all,
yeah, go ahead.
25 million, like what a problem to have, right?
I know, right? Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure that they probably, you know what? It depends on the person, I guess, but maybe they don't care when you're talking about that. But I don't even know if this is a tax write-off. I have no idea. Hopefully it would be, but they're saying that buyers will benefit from lower interest rates and fortunate market conditions that make it easier to shop for luxury properties and get loan approvals. I don't know. I mean,
no, this is absolutely counterintuitive. What's going on here?
Yeah.
And again, we have rhetoric, right? So we're trying to squeeze something into or out of the real estate market and an industry as a whole. And so right now, when you've got this new tax coming in, what they really want to do, honestly, they're wanting to bring in like $2 billion, right? And the reason for doing that isn't necessarily to, as we've said before, tax the rich. It's not just about that. It's where can we get this kind of insurgence of funds from? Oh, this is an easy target. And so when we talk about having an easy target like that, and then we say something like buyers will benefit from these lower interest rates because they're going to be able to buy these huge luxury homes. So let's think about that. Not only are you going to have this huge tax when you close on that, you've got closing costs as well. There's going to be so much room right now for error with this kind of a thing. So my question is, I want to know how many people are actually going to sell these homes. I know that we're seeing people are rushing to sell. They want to get listed right now. Agents in California are hurrying to the market. But I want to know, I'd love to see what happens if those houses just sit. What is that going to do to the market conditions?
Right. And we've seen something like that happen, well, relatively in the past few years with people. I mean, a U-Haul, supply and demand, right? You got to love the market conditions and how it's a capitalist society. So when a U-Haul truck is $3,000 to rent, and it's normally like a couple of hundred. Yeah. So I just look at it like you may have, there are major companies that are leaving California and moving to other states. They're leaving LA and going to Tennessee or Texas or Arizona or Nevada because of the tax benefits. And they're being wooed by these other states because stuff like this, right? Now that's obviously on the commercial side, but relatively speaking, I see the same thing happening with all these other folks. If I can live on the outskirts and it's a 4-hour commute to LA from, Los Angeles or to LA from Nevada, from Las Vegas, maybe I just park a trailer in the lot and declare that my home is in Nevada. You know what I mean?
You could do that, technically speaking. And specifically, when we look at comparing the commercial game right now to residential, even residential on this huge scale, what's going on in the commercial sector is we're still seeing those after effects of the pandemic shutting everything down because, and we talked about this last week too, people are still telecommuting. People are still working from home. While you might need some space for, some of your supplies or some of your goods or even some of your smaller services that you offer, as an employer, as a company in commercial real estate, you really don't need the footprint that you needed pre-pandemic, right? So now what we're seeing is it's become a very weak link in our economy.
Yeah.
With that, and you look at what's going on in California, again, I just question what happens when these things just sit, because we're already seeing what happens when commercial real estate just sits. It sits vacant, it sits empty, nobody needs it. As I said before, I'm still predicting that Seattle and the greater Seattle area is probably going to pivot those spaces to be housing somehow to help fend off the homelessness that's going on and give people an opportunity to live in the city where they already live, but they don't have a place to call home. And at least I would think that would be some way to use the space and utilize some dollars that are available to, delegate to a good cause. I just think people in general right now, we've shocked the fish with the interest rates, prices, supply and demand, all of these things. People are pausing for a second, except unless you own a multi-million-dollar mansion in California, then you're not pausing. Now you're running to sell. I see a new TV show on the horizon. I feel like, yeah. Buying California, selling California.
It's good luck with that one. But yeah, so CNBC just came out with commercial real estate. They actually called it the economy's weakest link. So the commercial real estate sector makes up about 11% of the economy, and post-pandemic, they are exhibiting a extremely weak performance, and that's primarily because of the fact that we have hybrid work environments now. My sister-in-law is working for TD Bank, and they had this massive office out in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. They call it TD University, where they do all of this training and everything. Well, it's all being done virtually now. So there's a decreased demand for certain types of properties because of those working from home arrangements. And we're going to continue to see a decline in those commercial property values because of it. You know, low mortgage rates contribute to a stronger market, but, you know, right now, and I disagree with what they said, which was that stocks and bonds offer higher returns than commercial real estate. I don't know that is accurate because of the other aspects. You know, there are 4 pillars in any real estate investment. You have your appreciation, your depreciation, your tenant pay down of your mortgage, and you have your cash flow. If you are effectively using that space, then you're cash flowing. Your returns are far greater than the stock market. And I know that you and I have talked about this before. If you're doing it effectively and you can turn properties and pull your cash flow back out, create yourself an infinite return, you know, there's no way to measure your actual returns. So in that case, I put like $1 for my purchase price, right? Or for my cash invested, and I'm pulling like a 740% return. You can't get that on the stock market. And that's,
you're never going to get that.
Yeah.
You'll never get it anywhere else. And when we have, you know, what I call the return loop. So, you know, you have a property, you pull money out through a HELOC, you invest it in another property, or maybe you don't have another property that you're going to buy right now. So you lend that to somebody else, you know, with a note and everything. You're still reinvesting, and it's a loop, because then you're going to get the returns from that investment, and you're going to continue to reinvest and reinvest. Tell me where in the space of savings, bonds, the stock market, where can you do that? I don't see that there's room for that, or that it would even pay any return great enough to have you do this return loop.
Right. And, you know, I look at the stock market. I still have exposure in the stock market. You know, I was lucky enough that I pulled my capital out in 2021 before this insanity occurred, and limited my exposure. But I'm in the process now of buying dividend stocks that are currently paying. I mean, it's relative, right? So as the stock prices went down, the dividends that were at 4 and 5% are now at 10 and 12%, just because the stock price has gone down, but the dividend payments are exactly the same. So I'm buying those up right now to increase my cash flow and then reinvest. So I'm running a DRIP, dividend reinvestment plan, with those, so that my returns are, so my returns are relatively safe with these companies. I bet on the company, not necessarily the return, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does make sense.
Yeah, so that works. But still, even with that, even with the dividend reinvestment, buying these stocks at this lower price, and people are running from the stock market, and I'm buying dividend stocks. It's funny. But even with that, I'm still not going to create the type of returns that I do with my commercial multifamily properties, not my commercial real estate. That's why I'm converting the 5-unit in. So I have a 5-unit mixed use commercial, and I'm converting the 1 commercial space, which is an office with a garage, and I'm turning that into an actual residence, into an apartment, simply because the returns on that are going to be stupid, and we can't get people to rent out the space. So we'll turn that over, and instead of getting $600 to $800 a month for the space, we'll wind up with $1,200 a month for the space. And when you look at it, it was zero, and at 600, it increases the value of the property by 90,000. But if we rent it out for $1,250 a month, it increases the value of the property by 180,000. So I think that's the way we're going to go with it.
And with all things, all of the properties, all of the opportunities that we have, we're always looking at value add.
Yeah.
And as we were talking about the commercial, you know, real estate space, people don't need it as much. So why would you put something on the market for rent in the commercial space, even though it's mixed use, and that's great? But if you're not going to get any returns on it, it doesn't do any good just sitting there empty. Convert it, make it livable, put a resident in there.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm here for that.
Yeah. And, you know, the part of the problem with all of this is that it's getting harder and harder to find the money because of the interest rates, you know? So, Silicon Valley Bank, USB buying, Credit Suisse, all of these other banks that are having their issues are tightening the screws on the housing, on housing. And, and that's from Axios, right? So Axios.com.
Yeah.
Essentially, we're looking at banks becoming more and more cautious about lending. They want to protect their balance sheets. One of the issues that I see right now is that if a bank has an asset on the books, they can lend 10 times that asset. Obviously, there were other factors that were involved in the Silicon Valley Bank because they were lending out at a high interest rate, investing in T-bonds. And when the interest rates went up, the value of the bonds went down. So, they were upside down. But here's the one thing that I'm noticing, though, is that you have all of these commercial multifamily properties that are coming up for bridge loans. Their bridge loans are coming due. So you have all of this commercial real estate that are going to expire this year, about $270 billion, according to this article.
That's not a small amount at all.
No, it's not, right? And you have people that are out there looking for apartments, but they can't find them because the rents have gone way up. So, and you can't find a house because there's a scarcity. You have 6 million people looking at 1 million houses. And I know that people are, Chicken Little saying the sky is falling when it comes to buying houses, but in certain areas, I would absolutely agree with that. And in New Jersey, the numbers in North Jersey are showing that the values are going down, but the numbers in South Jersey, properties are selling in 5 days. So
the market is not the same countrywide. And I agree 100%. Some of these markets we're seeing things are sitting for longer days on market, right? So some of the areas in Phoenix, for example, right now in some of the suburbs of Phoenix, you have up to 56 days on market on average, but it also depends on the size of the home and what the home is located next to. I mean, we have a bunch of factors that we have to consider. Looking nationwide, there's no way we can put a blanket statement on what's going on where. But what's happening is with these small and mid-sized banks that own these, commercial, basically debts, they are being very, very selective about who they're going to lend to, what their terms are, and what they require in order to pre-qualify or qualify for anything. Personally, back in 2012, 2013, all you needed to do to pre-qualify for any kind of home loan whatsoever was to say, "Hi, my name's Kimmy. I'd like to buy a house. Ask me how I know," because I did it in 2012 and 2013, right? And I was really young. I had never owned a home before. And what we saw at that time was the tail end of what happened in 2008, which, by the way, is not the same thing that's going on right now. I can't stand when I hear people say another 2008. No, it's not. It's absolutely not. What I saw when I was coming into the housing market as a consumer and a first-time home buyer was very little inventory that was not short sale or foreclosure bank owned, right? I was walking these properties and I had no idea what I was doing. Okay, this is before it became glamorous to flip homes. And really before anybody, any type of consumer in general, was going in, seeing the potential for a property, living in their flip, and then selling it for a profit. So I was walking into these homes that were trashed, all of the fixtures were pulled out, and the banks were saying, "We will give this house to you. Please take this house." That is absolutely not what we're seeing right now. And granted, it's going to be about, I think maybe 4 to 5 years before we really start seeing the short sales come up again as well. Yeah. But we're talking about bigger players in the market. And I just feel like I think we're needing to be more cautious right now. I'm not saying don't jump. If you're ready to jump, go do it. Just be smart about it. That's all.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of selling houses, I got to ask you a question. You know who Bill Murray is, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there are some, younger folks who watch or listen. Maybe they don't know. It's Zombieland, right? So anyway, I know that's like, still what, 5-6 years ago. I don't even know when that came out, but would you ever list a house in the metaverse? So, all right. So a couple of different stories that are going on here. Architectural Digest, Bill Murray is selling his upstate New York home.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like a 7-bedroom house built on 36. But the funny part is it just reminded me of Zombieland when they went to Bill Murray's house in California and he was dressed up like a zombie and they shot him, you know?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So for some reason that just hit me as funny. So I figured I'd bring that to the table. But so here's the one thing that's really, in addition to that story, Architectural Digest came out with, they're listing a house in the metaverse for $12.9 million. And it's in the Miami Pinecrest neighborhood.
What does it offer? That's my first question. What does it, so if you're asking me if I would list something, I got to know what I would list.
Yeah. So, okay. So it's like this. There's a house in Miami. It is a twin. Mm-hmm. And there is a duplicate house, the same house. Every square inch is exactly the same in the metaverse. It's an 11,000 square house. It's voxel architecture, 7 beds, 9 baths, walk-in wine cellar, and a separate guest house. So you get a matching NFT that's for use in the Sandbox metaverse. It's got 40 additional acres for residential, commercial, marketing, or gaming projects. And then it's going to go to auction via NFT on the Ethereum blockchain on April 19th. Yeah, that was a bad slip. Anyway, so the Ethereum blockchain on April 19th, and buyers can tour it virtually, and it's being touted as the first open house in the metaverse. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
First of all, it's weird. I'm just going to say it. I don't deal well with elephants in the room, and it's weird. That's what I glean from this. But I just am struggling to wrap my mind around, and maybe that's why this is such a lightning rod topic, right? This is why Architectural Digest picked it up, said, hey, let's report on this. We're having an auction via NFT.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, look, blockchain is allegedly safe. So I just spilled coffee all over my keyboard.
Oh my gosh. See, this is the reason that I have my cup. It's probably not coffee. I mean, nobody will ever know, right?
Right.
Well, hey, if your keyboard is shot, I hope it's not, but if it is, I mean, maybe you could find a new one somewhere out there in cyberspace. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Oh,
no, it's all good. It's all good. This is like, it's very slim. And it's not watertight, but it is water resistant, because that's why I bought it, because I'm stupid.
Okay, so now I have to go buy a new keyboard because I have my big ancient. It's an ergonomic. It's bougie, I know, but it came with a matching mouse, and I'm all for that. Except that it's huge. It's huge, and I have my sit stand desk here, and it hits the top of the sit stand desk. So I've been considering a new one. Maybe I should buy yours. If yours survives the great coffee apocalypse of Friday, March 31st, 2023. Maybe I'll buy one.
Yeah, right. Not bad.
And I do have this one. This is a keyboard.
Oh,
this is what I take when I'm traveling.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. Well, I was finding that every time I go down to Arizona to, do some work on my properties and stuff, I need my computer because I'm running comps or I'm, looking at virtual tours or something, and needing to be in touch with my agent and our team and everything. So I don't like typing on the laptop, but this keyboard cannot travel. I mean, it could travel with me, but why? So I just did seriously like an Amazon search for ergonomic travel keyboard. I mean, this is like, I wouldn't say paper thin, but it's maybe half an inch, and it's so
really
great.
cool.
It's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, I'm going to need a new iPad soon, I think. I'm carrying this thing around with me. So I've got a Mac Mini, and I'm sending that out to get like boosted. So in the meantime, I've got my laptop here, my MacBook Pro, and I'm in the process of upgrading the, my assistants are going absolutely crazy. You're not streaming. We know.
Yeah,
this will be uploaded later. This will be uploaded later. And in the meantime, we're looking at new streaming platforms because Riverside, things are really good at certain things. Like Riverside is great with the podcast. and we can edit in it and we can do all this crazy stuff. And I'm not getting paid to say that, by the way, but I enjoy the platform
This is not an endorsement.
Right. Exactly. Right. So, but what it's not good at is streaming live, and we've been disconnected, booted, plugged in the numbers and it didn't stream anyway type of thing. So we'll be checking out different platforms. Ron is going absolutely nuts.
Oh, we're going to keep messing it up until we get it right.
Oh yeah, exactly. Right. We're going to keep screwing it up till we get it right. So at least this one recorded. The first one that we did didn't even record. I hit the wrong button and you were muted.
Which I would love to see the recording, because I think you said it looked like you were just talking to yourself.
Yeah, I was talking to myself on camera because you were listed as a producer instead of as a guest or co-host, which not
Fun
really
fact.
a thing. Yeah, go ahead.
I used to produce a television show. I was the executive producer, and it was a great time in a past life.
Oh, that's nice, man. I watched the show about The Godfather. It was on what was it? Was it Paramount? I think it was. Good show. Great series. Yeah, really good series. I enjoyed that immensely. I forget what the guy's name is. The co-star in Top Gun, Goose. He played Goose's son. He's from Philly, and I can't remember his name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, Goose on Top Gun is also on ER, and ER was early in my era, and I loved ER. Yeah. I also love Top Gun, but right now I'm not watching anything of substance, really. I think Justin, the babe, we're watching Love is Blind on Netflix. That's what we're currently watching. Well, he made me watch a different documentary before he went to Malaysia, and it was just not a good idea for me. So we're going lighter, we're going less serious,
Yeah, I'm doing a rehash of the Boardwalk Empire while at the same time watching Last of Us. I'm binging Last of Us.
Ooh.
On HBO. And my wife and I had well, wait, ready? Here's the thing. I was telling my wife last night, we were talking about it, and she's like, there are not a lot of zombies in this. And I'm like, it's not about the zombies. I'm like, it's not about the zombies at all. She goes, what is it? I said, it's about the real monsters on the planet. She says, what's that? I said, human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So,
human beings are the only creatures that behave irrationally in the name of reason.
Right. It's amazing.
Somebody smarter than me said that, but I don't know who it was.
I don't know either. I don't know. But yeah, I like the throwback stuff. Immediately, Stephanie had never seen Boardwalk Empire, but Nucky Thompson, played by Steve Buscemi, and he's awesome. Retired firefighter, by the way. And he's a retired firefighter. And I think he plays great characters, regardless of whether he's in a comedic role or he's in a drama. He was in The Sopranos. He was in, a couple of different Adam Sandler movies,
Happy Gilmore. I knew where you were going with that. I see.
Yeah. Yeah. He was in Billy Madison and Mr. Deeds. I don't think he was in Happy Gilmore. Yeah. Yeah. So I used to be a big Adam Sandler fan.
Classics.
Right.
Now I feel like I have to watch them. And I have such a huge respect for, something you just said. This actor was a first responder. He was a firefighter. He's a retired firefighter. I have to say my guilty pleasure is like first responder shows on, I think they're on Fox, but 911, 911 Lone Star, SWAT. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. But I don't think any one of those guys is a retired firefighter or officer of the law. And I just learned something about one of those shows. Obviously, it's glamorized, and these are made up stories, which is, again, why I have such a respect for somebody that really did it. One of the actors that I absolutely love, Jay Harrington, his own brother is his stunt double on SWAT.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I think SWAT's probably CBS or something. But yeah, it was the coolest fact that I had seen in a long time. And I admittedly saw it just as I was scrolling through the gram one night. And I was actually looking for ideas. I'm going to be eventually renovating one of the bathrooms at one of our condos. And I was looking through ideas on Pinterest and Instagram and I just saw it come up on his feed and I went, that is the coolest thing ever. Your own brother is your stunt double. I love it.
Yeah, my mother-in-law is a big fan of Chicago Fire. She binges it every time she's here. She's up in New York, so every time she comes down here for like a couple of weeks. Last time it was a couple of months, and every day she's screaming into the remote control, "Chicago Fire!" And then she's like, "I don't know why these episodes keep repeating." I'm like, "Because you've watched all 13 seasons. You're back at season 1. Like that's." On all the time, and it's hysterical. Like if there's, I'm pretty sure I'm getting to the point where I can recite Chicago Fire episodes. That and Blue Bloods, I can recite those episodes.
I wanted to start Blue Bloods. There's also East New York. I wanted to start that one as well, but again, we time. I don't have the time, and I do love when my dad's been here this week helping out because I don't have the babe. Oh my gosh, he can't come home soon enough. My dad's downstairs screaming into the remote, right? And I'm like, he goes, it's not listening to me. Well, what's happening is he's trying to tell it. My daughter likes to watch Alexa and Katie on Netflix, and he's screaming at the remote without pushing the microphone button.
Oh, yeah.
Alexa and Katie. But now we have an Echo Show downstairs, so I can keep everybody's calendars straight. So he's screaming Alexa. And so Alexa is coming on and playing music and doing all this wild stuff. And I'm just watching my dad get really, really confused. And then finally he just gives up, drops the remote like a mic drop. And he's like, I can't do this. Your house, I don't know how to work anything here. I said, well, you can point the remote and just select what you want instead of demanding that the TV do what you want it to do. That could also work, Yeah. It's just hilarious. It's so funny. And how instant gratification have we become as a society where Dad can't get the remote to do what he wants it to do instantaneously. So even he gives up, and he's not even my generation, right? So it's just, oh man, we are so digitally connected, which maybe this is why this metaverse sale is going to be groundbreaking. I don't know.
I see what you did there. Great segue. Way to bring it back. You rolled it back up. Thank you very much. Awesome. Yeah. I was about to go down a rabbit hole.
Oh my gosh, we are like a hot mess
rabbit hole. So,
oh my gosh, real estate news.
I used to know how to do. I don't remember how to start a fire without matches or a lighter. I used to know that stuff.
All I have to say is, if you come here for serious news, you're in the wrong place.
Right.
And this is some real estate and all the other stuff that we think about all week, and we finally get to talk to each other on Friday, and here it is.
Yep. And and I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, oh, okay, is that basil? And then I put it in a salad and realize it's poison ivy. Not good. No, that's not it. That's not good.
I don't even know how to come back from that.
No, there's listen, we used to have these maps when we were deployed, and they would have like, don't eat this, don't eat that. This is good. This is good. These are the bad snakes. These are the good snakes type of things, It's like, and I used to memorize that stuff so that if anything ever happened and I found myself trapped somewhere, I'd be able to eat the right plant, or the right tree bark or some crap like that. And instead here I am thinking to myself, what would happen if I accidentally put poison ivy on my salad instead of basil? Because I can't, I've become so like Google dependent, like, hey, take a picture of it with your iPhone and tell me what this is. And it'll tell me your dog is a Malinois mix, okay, cool. No problem. I knew that, but now I really know it because Google said so.
Oh, my daughter doesn't know a world before Google. In fact, I told her one day, Mom is older than the Google. And she's like, what? Like, it blew her mind. She doesn't know. She doesn't understand. When we used to want to, understand something, know what something was, find a definition of a word. This actor was in this show and that movie. What movie was it? What shows were we talking about? We didn't have IMDb. We didn't have Google. It wasn't a thing.
No.
We had to wait. We had wait for it. Delayed gratification.
Yeah. Wait, Coach Bud is older than the computer.
Oh, Okay, I should tell her that.
Not
I
ENIAC,
should tell her that.
not ENIAC. ENIAC was before my time. Oh, by the way, I actually arrested the guy who invented ENIAC. It's public record, so I think I'm allowed to say that. Yeah, it was.
You can
I'm
say
sorry,
it
it was
because
his
it's part of
father.
public
It was
record.
his father.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. It was an entire classroom in Pennsylvania University Hospital was the entire server room for the one computer that was slower than 1/1000th of this. It's amazing.
It's absolutely mind-boggling. I still remember my ex-husband buying an external hard drive, and it was, I want to say it was less than a terabyte. I don't remember what size it was, but it cost him an absorbent amount of money. I went to a conference this week, and at the conference, they handed out pens that have USB drives in them for free that were the same size.
Yeah. Yeah. Kimmy, my first computer was 20 kilobytes of RAM. 20 kilobytes.
What did it do besides the calculator and Oregon Trail?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was you were playing games that gave you lines of information, and then you had to tell the computer what to do, turn left, turn right. That was before Oregon Trail, by the way. That was like you enter a room. Yeah, you enter a room. You see the light in front of you. There's a door to your right. What do you want to do? Go towards the light or make a right? Turn right. You have just turned right. You are now in another room. This is a dead end. Turn around. I'm not kidding. Yeah, seriously. And you played it either on there. So the Commodore VIC-20 had a cassette tape reader that went with it, or you were using like an IBM with a big floppy disk, and you stuck that in there and flipped the thing. And
a floppy disk. I'm familiar with that.
Yeah,
I used to use them when I would type on. I can't remember what the Microsoft equivalent of Word was, but whatever it was, the word processing system on a Mac. I used to type up my school papers in elementary school and then take the floppy disk to school. And I mean, we're talking.
When we say floppy disk, Kimmy, when I say floppy disk and you say floppy disk, you're talking about a 3.5 inch, right? I'm talking about a 5.7 inch, which was actually it. You could bend it or crease it. It was in a paper envelope that you stuck in. It was literally like a piece of plastic, or inside there, and you stuck it into the thing and flipped the door, and then it would compress between two pieces of metal, and then the metal would read. It looked like a tiny record.
I don't even know.
Thank God records are making a comeback. Otherwise, people that are watching this wouldn't even know what the heck I was talking about.
My dad he's a professional musician, and he's constantly reminding me that the word album came from an actual album. A record album.
Yeah.
Like, I know, Dad, I know.
It would open and it would have stuff inside of it, words and whatnot, or descriptions of the artist. Now everything is all, virtual. It's
all digital. If I want the lyrics to whatever song by The Weeknd, I can just Google it.
Yeah. I have YouTube Music. You can watch the video, listen to the music, or watch the lyrics scroll as it's going through, and basically karaoke in your car if you want. It's stupid.
That's me. Karaoke in my car all day.
Don't hit a tree. It's so distracting.
Oh my gosh. We digress.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it is 11:13, and I am going to have to post this since it did not stream. I will promise everyone that we will be streaming next week because we are moving to a different platform that we have already discussed. Matter of fact, I'm 15 minutes over. I'm supposed to be in my next meeting. All right.
Come on.
Well, Kimmy, as always, it's a pleasure. I will see you. Maybe tonight I'll see you on the residential multifamily course that we have with Coffee with the Captain.
I will be on.
And guys, if you are not on Coffee with the Captain, I would highly recommend that you reach out and try to. If you are an action taker, check out coffee.thepropertycaptain.com. Set your appointment. Otherwise, if you're looking for real estate instruction, you can check out budevans.com, and I would be more than happy to walk you through the processes. The first call is free. I do not do sales calls. We talk to each other, see if we're a fit. If we are, great. If we're not, great. If you have any questions, please reach out, book a call. Kimmy, got anything else?
No, the co-host from the West Coast is going to go make another cup of coffee.
Yeah, outstanding. I'm going to try not to spill my next one.
Sounds good.
All right. Hey, until next we meet, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're checking this out, until the next time we meet, aim high.